What's up, everyone? This is Christian Duke. You're watching Strength Addicts here on Instagram Live, powered by BlackstoneLabs.com, the holy grail of bodybuilding supplements. If you're looking to get involved in the fitness industry, there is no better way to do so than by applying to join the Blackstone Labs Legion. Do so today. Also, a big thank you to our supporting sponsor, TitanMedicalCenter.com, for all your TRT, medical weight loss, glutathione, amino acids, and of course, the ECA Plus that's got everybody in the fitness industry raving. Guys, I want to also remind you that tomorrow, Tuesday, at 10 a.m., that's right, tomorrow, Tuesday at 10 a.m., head on over to Nutrition Factory as Blackstone Labs comprises one of the Elite 8, the next round in the Nutrition Factory poll. And tomorrow we're up against Redcon. So make sure to head on over to Nutrition Factory tomorrow at 10 a.m. and cast your vote for Blackstone Labs. Loyalty is everything. So tonight I've got Eric Zatchok. We're going to have a great chat. And he told me how to say his last name, and I hope to God I did not butcher it. So I'm going to bring him on here. And thank you guys. Right now we got about 4 or 5 people in here, and more people will come on. I usually don't do these at 8 o'clock. They're usually a lot earlier, but people will come in. And as you guys know, most of these are watched on replay. So I expect to have a great interview tonight. So we got to talk about that natural Ohio that looked really good. What's up, Shani? See you on Wednesday at noon for our interview. What's up, One Buff Barbie? What's up?
Hey.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. It looked like you had a blast at the Natural Ohio, huh?
Oh, man, it was so much fun. I love doing that show. It's the 3rd time that I've done it. And Jay was actually supposed to be at the show last year, and then COVID-19 happened, and the show was pushed back and then canceled, and then he did one in October. But it was so great to meet Jay. Like, if I would have told like the 2010 version of me that was like 175 pounds and just starting to work out, if I would have told him that he was going to meet Jay Cutler, he would have not believed me. Like it was too cool.
No, I totally agree, man. Like when I met Jay back in 2013, it was like I had to like almost pinch myself. And the only reason I met him was because, you know, I'm good friends with Chris McKenzie, and you know, he runs BPI, but it was crazy because, you know, like in the early 2000s, you know, I was reading the magazines, I was on the message boards. I never thought in a million years I would like get to meet him, much less say anything to him. And he was like behind the Blackstone booth with you, so that's really cool.
Yeah. He was walking around with the promoter, and they were shaking hands with everybody at all the booths and stuff. And he was across the aisle from me, and I saw him turn and look at me. The promoter was like pulling him in the other direction. And he saw that it was the Blackstone table, and he immediately came over and shook my hand. And I said, "Mr. Cutler, it's a pleasure to meet you, sir." And then he got pulled back to the other table, and then he came back to see me at the Blackstone table. So I'm still on cloud 9.
So cool. Yeah, and you know, we're all such huge fans of Jay. You're a fan, I'm a fan. PJ's a huge fan and friend as well, so it's really cool. But you know, it's interesting. But actually, I want to talk a little bit more about Jay, but I want to do a tutorial. I want you to preside over the tutorial. Tell everybody exactly how to say your last name. I know you told me, but I want everyone to know so they know you, like, and never butcher it.
Okay. All right. So it's very easy. It's 2 syllables, Zat, and then chalk, like a piece of chalk that you would write on the chalkboard. Zatchok. That's it.
Let's try. Zatchok.
That's it. You got it.
Awesome. Good stuff. Good stuff. It's so important. It's so important to get names, last names right. It's like the most basic form of respect I think there is. But talking about Jay, we'll talk a little bit more about Jay and then we'll move on if that's okay. But I think it's so interesting how, you know, you've got, you know, there's not a lot of examples, but like Jay is one of them, Ronnie Coleman's one of them, that even after retired, their popularity increases more and more. And I think it's because of the way they treat their fans, and because there's not a huge difference between the Jay you see on camera and the Jay you see in person.
Oh, absolutely. He was so down to earth and personable. He and I didn't really get to converse very long, but when he stepped behind the booth to take the picture with me, he said, "You're going to need a bigger mask," because I was wearing one of the Blackstone masks. He said, "You're going to need a mask for that beard." And I got a little chuckle out of that. But yeah, he was great. He was so awesome.
That's awesome. Now I have this. This is the most I could do, a little bit bushier, but you.
Okay.
you've got like the real like lumberjack look. That's crazy. It's like a lumberjack meets ZZ Top or something. So tell me a little bit about the charity work that you've done with it, because I think that's amazing. I've heard of it here and there, but I've never actually spoken to someone that's done it.
Okay. So I was president of a beard and mustache club here in Cleveland called Beards of the Old Northwest. And what we did, we would run a charity event that each year we would pick either a local or a national charity, and all the ticket sales and sales from raffle items and donations and stuff would go directly to that charity. So we've done competitions in concert venues, like we did it at the Agora here in Cleveland. For those that are watching from the Cleveland area, we were at the Agora. We even did a competition at the Mansfield Reformatory, the jail that was used in the Shawshank Redemption. So that was pretty cool to end up being able to go on a tour and see the entire reformatory and where they shot certain scenes and how things happened and all the haunted and other weird supernatural goings on that were there at the jail. So I did that for, what was it, maybe 8 years, 9 years? I was a part of that movement and that community, and I just had to step away because I had so many things going on at work, and I was doing stuff with the Legion. That's like right when I got started with the Legion, and it was time to move on. Like, obviously I still have the beard and I'm still, a part of that, but yeah, it's a thing. They're almost like, I guess the best way to put it is a male beauty pageant, because the guys go on stage and there's like 13, 14, 15 different categories, and they will strut their stuff in front of the crowd and hoot and holler and go wild, and then they end up winning trophies. And it's just your typical, regular trophy you would get at an award show, or award shop. But some of the clubs end up making their own trophies. Like for when we did our competition at the jail, we did a ball and chain. So we actually had somebody weld us, get an iron ball and weld a chain to it and get the ankle cuff and all that. But yeah, it was a blast. I had a great time doing that. I'm still friends with all the people that I met over the years doing that kind of stuff. And I just thought it was time to move on to something
that's
better.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
And sometimes people say I don't read comments. That's why I'm looking down and looking up. People are like, what? Like, sometimes I get comments and people are like, what are you looking down for? Like, what's wrong? Well, the comments are down there, and and so yeah, and Eric's up here. But I think that's great. I really do. And when you mentioned like how it's like almost like beauty pageants up there, well, that's kind of like, I mean, I hope no competitors get upset at this, but that's kind of like what bodybuilding is in a way. I mean, you're up there showcasing your muscle, but it's not just your muscle. You have to have, if you're really going to excel, you have to have like a little bit of like passion. You have to have a little bit of creativity. The more you're posing aligns with the music, the better I just think it's a whole presentation. I don't think it's just muscle alone,
Oh yeah, I would agree with you. And going back to the beard competition thing, I would dress up as different characters, like depending on the theme of the event. Like sometimes there's, old-timey medieval themes. There's been a superhero competition I went to. I dressed up as the Riddler for the one competition. So I styled my beard up into question marks and went all crazy with the One Piece Jim Carrey leotard thing.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So how do you manage? How do you care for it? I know it sounds like we're talking about a pet or something, but no. But like, how do you? I mean, because there's all like a gajillion hair care products. But what do you do for a beard though? Especially a beard that long.
There's beard oils and there's beard balms. Balms are a thicker consistency. They hold longer beards like mine together a little bit better. There's a company I use exclusively called Can You Handlebar. I have a few friends that are in that company, and I'm proud to represent them. Great products, all organic. So you're not putting any, silicone things and sulfates and stuff in your beard, and it helps keep the split ends from getting too crazy and keep it neat and tidy. And so you definitely need to take care of it just as much as you would the hair on your head.
No, if I had something, yeah, exactly. BJ's got great hair, but I don't. But so yeah. So with regards to the Legion, though, I mean, 2018, that's a while. So you've been with the Legion for a while. You work with Corey. I don't know
Hmm.
exactly what you do with Corey, so if you want to mention that, because I know PJ told me that, but I don't know,
Hmm.
and maybe some of the folks at home don't know. We got Jared in the house on the Blackstone Labs Legion page. Thank you, Jared, for coming in, and also for promoting it on the Legion page as well. But yeah, tell us a little bit about your work with Corey, and then also about your work with the Legion.
Yeah. So when I first started out in the Legion, we were given like call center reps that would help us with our orders. So if we had friends or family members that wanted to order, we would send them to the call center rep and get them the discount and stuff. So there was a gentleman that I was working with who's no longer with the call center. I was basically moved from that person to Corey, and that's how I met him. And he's just been great answering questions that I've had. If I'm not sure of what a product does or how a product exactly works, I will immediately forward them to him because he's so knowledgeable. Or I would ask him myself and then, send over what he said. But he's been a great resource to have as a Legion member. And if you don't have a rep, if somebody in the Legion doesn't have a rep, just reach out to any of them that are in the call center. They're there to answer the questions that you might have and help you out to help you bring more people into the Legion and help them use the products that we have.
Awesome,
So,
awesome.
yeah.
So speaking of products, I mean, it's like a perfect segue. What
Yeah.
are your favorite products, like by Blackstone Labs?
You know what? After when you told me that was one of the things that we were going to talk about today, I immediately had to grab a few things that were in my cupboard in my gym bag. So I think the number one is probably Halo Elite. Hands down, I think it's one of those universal products that men and women can use and get benefit out of, regardless of what their goals are. Everybody wants to be stronger, fiercer in the gym, and this is, one of the best products to do that. I also like the Dust V2 Black Lemonade is probably my favorite flavor. Yeah, it's so good. And I like to stack it with the Sour Gummy Bear Hype Reloaded as well. So that's probably the three that are sitting in my gym bag at all times. I do like Formula 19 as well. Use that on my heavier days, my back day, my leg day, stuff like that. And I just started using the liposomal turmeric. I liked orthobolic. I've had knee issues for years because of playing soccer in high school and stuff like that. So I like the effect of that had on my joints. So when I found out that the turmeric was pretty much the same thing, it was good for healthy joint function, I immediately had to try it. So I'm like day 3 or 4 in, and I like it so far.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Jared is saying the new Formula 19's in the works, so that's going to be really cool.
Yes.
You'll be excited about that. Yeah. The turmeric is huge, and like I got to tell you, like it is selling everywhere, all brands, at all stores. But the problem is something that I talked with Chris Puff about some weeks ago or months ago. I lose track of time, but he's actually a chemist, and he was talking about how like the video that PJ had done for the liposomal technology is great for people like myself that really don't know crap about chemistry, just to kind of like dumb it down a little, just to explain it, make it more, because I hate chemistry, I don't understand. But Chris, he's a chemist. He's actually studying for his PhD in chemistry. So he's a genius. But he actually, like, he saw the video, but he like understands like the intricacies of the technology, and there's just like nothing like it in the industry at all. So while turmeric is huge and everybody wants it and all these brands sell it, the fact that Blackstone actually has a delivery system where you're actually going to use it is, it's just like you're off to the races.
Oh, absolutely.
So when I was looking at your page, and I scrolled down a little bit and I stalked a little bit because that's what I do for these interviews. I noticed that you've got like some gigantic arms. I'm like, they've got some shape to them. Yeah, they have some shape to them. So that's why I asked you before the interview. I was like, well, I couldn't tell if you were a bodybuilder or not, like in the sense that you competed, because you kind of look like a bodybuilder that's a little bit off on the off season, getting back into the season. Because like I said, your arms have definition to them. You're not shredded, but they have the definition, like as if you were taking like a bulk. But you also kind of look like a power lifter or strongman. So I know you had said that you want to compete one day in bodybuilding, but what box, and I hate boxes, I hate them, but what boxes would you check off? Bodybuilder, power lifter, strongman, what?
I would probably put bodybuilder, power lifter, or a power builder, or whatever they call them, nowadays. I like to deadlift. I like to squat. I like to bench. I like to do all the basic lifts, but I do like the intricacies of arm day, of shoulder day. Like, doing the, the little exercises. So I like to do it all. I would love to do a bodybuilding competition, but like I said in that voice memo I sent you earlier, I just need to put down the Sour Patch Kids and the popcorn because I love movies way too much.
Right.
And those are mandatory when you watch a movie. You have to have some candy and some popcorn.
Definitely. Well, it sounds like you need someone to like just kind of like rein you in, and just put you on a program. And there's so many people at Blackstone to choose from. I mean, you could work with Rue Dog, you could work with Chris Luke, you could work with, there's like endless people. They will all offer you varying degrees of suffering, but at the end of the day, you're gonna look fantastic. Yeah. Yeah. But I got to be honest with you though, you've got the look. I mean, you've got the structure. Definitely got the structure. You've got the mass. I think with you, the only thing would be to, just get cut up. I mean, you don't really look like you have a lot of fat, if any at all. You just look like a thick power lifter type. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's a great starting place, for a show or something like that.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I am a little thicker in the midsection, so I would need some assistance.
Right. No, but I want to like maybe explain a little bit more. When I say thicker, I don't mean fat though. I just mean like you're bulky. You're like, it's kind of like a wellness competitor. Not to say you look like one, but the wellness competitors, they're thick. But a lot of people think that, they misconstrue that for fat. They're not fat at all. They're thick. Like a woman that's a volleyball player is thick, but that's just pure muscle. That's not like fat. And I would say the same thing for you in that sense. Like, I don't think you're actually fat or anything like that. I just think that you're like swole, which is a good thing. But when you want to get on, swole. But when you want to get on stage, you got to be shredded. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah. But I think ultimately, though, that could definitely be something that you could do. I think now, actually, let me ask you, what's your height and what's your weight? Just out of curiosity.
I am around 6 foot, and I'm currently around 250 right now.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad because you've got height, so you're, which is good. But you're not like, I think 6 feet, 5'11", 6 feet is perfect. Because if like I'm 6'4.5", that's kind of too tall. But 6 foot is right, kind of perfect, I think. And the weight that you got, like you wouldn't have to lose much. Right. So, with regards to strongman and powerlifting, what do you like there? Like I noticed you mentioned power building, and that's a little bit of an obscure term. I think it's probably the one that really coined that was Mike O'Hearn. And you look at Mike O'Hearn, and he's jacked, but he's also really strong. Like most bodybuilders, no offense to him, I love you all, but you look strong, but you're really not strong. There's some exceptions, Johnny Jackson, Ronnie Coleman. There's a few exceptions, but generally bodybuilders are not particularly strong. So powerlifting, strongman, what kind of lifts do you like? Like, what do you gravitate toward? Like the pulling, the pushing, what?
Are you there? You're breaking up on me.
That's okay. We'll wait. Do you hear me or no? Do you hear me?
I can hear you barely. Barely. You're breaking up a little bit. I can hear you now.
Okay. I wonder why that is. Can you hear me now? It's okay. Do you want to leave and then come back?
Yeah, I can hear you barely. You're fading in and out. Your video's frozen. I wonder what that is.
My video's frozen? Okay. Interesting. Actually, yours is frozen now too. I'm going to exit you out and I'm going to bring you back in, okay?
Oh, you know what? I think I got it.
Did you get it?
Okay. I jumped off the Wi-Fi and just went to 5G.
Oh, okay. It's 5G. It's like the conspiracy theory. It's all good. But the most important thing though is that we stayed on. We just kind of we persevered. We stayed on. The awkwardness of not being able to communicate did not break us. So that's good.
Right. Yeah.
That's good. So when it comes to lifts, right? Because I know you said that you identify as a power lifter, and that's something that is sort of obscure. That's something that's like a Mike O'Hearn kind of way of training, where you look like a bodybuilder but you train like a power lifter. Like what exercises do you like the most in the gym?
Like I said earlier, I love to deadlift. I hit my heaviest deadlift was I think 505 like a year ago. And I tend to work out by myself. I usually don't have somebody else working out with me to, really encourage me, push me, challenge me. So there was just one day that I was lifting with two other guys in the Legion here in Cleveland, and we were just going back and forth, and just each of us would deadlift a certain weight and then jump. The next person would up it a little bit more, and we get to 505, and I'm the only one still standing, and I'm like, holy crap.
That's crazy. And you're tall too, so that's the thing, 6 feet tall, for deadlifting, squatting. I mean, for benching, even for benching, as your arms are longer, but really for those pulling exercises, I would say it's a challenge. But that's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge. Having long legs is the worst if you're trying to deadlift, because you still have to bend all the way down to get that weight.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely. Now, I love Cleveland. I used to go up quite a bit to cover both the Lieberman shows, the Natural Ohio and the Natural Northern USA.
Yeah.
And it's a great town, and it's like, it's got a lot of stuff going on, powerlifting, lots of bodybuilding. It's just a great town. Have you always lived in Cleveland?
No, actually, I moved here 9 years ago when I got a job at a hospital up here. I'm a personal trainer for the employee gym at that hospital. I don't think I'm allowed to say the name of the hospital on social media.
Don't.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, it's a great gig, and I love the people that I work with, and the doctors and the nurses and the support staff that I get to see every day and train every day and hear their stories and help them lose weight or help them get stronger. And so it's been a great gig these past 9 years.
Awesome. So let's go towards the goals. Okay. So it looks like 2021 is going to be a little bit better than 20. Well, it is already better than 2020 because we have bodybuilding shows and we have some sense of normalcy. I'm not sure how Ohio is dealing with COVID. I know Kentucky's pretty strict. I know Michigan's really strict. I don't know about how is Ohio with is it loosening up a little bit?
Yeah, it is a little bit. Yeah, things are starting to get a little bit more open. I think they're going to be looking to do the NFL draft in another month. So they've already torn down buildings right on Lake Erie to where they're going to have all this open space to have people come in and watch the draft and, patronize different businesses that are in the downtown area. And of course we have bodybuilding shows, and movie theaters are opening back up, and they're talking about doing plays and musicals at Playhouse Square downtown in the fall. So it's getting better. Things are getting there.
Yeah, I mean, I think so too, and eventually the Natural Ohio will probably be back at the wasn't at the Hall of Music there for a little while in downtown Cleveland.
It was at the Cleveland Public Auditorium.
Right. That's right.
Yeah,
right. The Beatles played there actually. I think
that's what I heard.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful venue in there, but I think that place is still closed down this year. Yeah. So the venue that Dave Lieberman had it at last year and then this year is another great theater setting. And I think he said that it's going to be there for, the next couple shows at least.
Definitely. I started going to his shows when they were, I think it was Lakewood High School, I would think, or Lakeview High School. It was it was a high school. It was good though. It was good, but it got so big, and he's got 100 booths usually is what he promotes. So I mean, that's almost it gets any bigger, it's like a mini Arnold Classic, really. I mean, it's that big. You know what I mean? And his trophies are huge. I mean, you can't even fit them. You got to bring them in sideways, but which is really cool. I mean, there's a lot of passion there. He's been doing it for a long time. It's a really, and again, it's a natural show too. I mean, natural shows usually are not that big. I mean, this thing's monstrous. So what are what would you say are some goals that you have for this year, the immediate future, and then let's say 5 years from now with regards to fitness and the Legion and all that?
No
pressure.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
In terms of the Legion, I'd like to actually move up in the ranks a little bit more. I know there's some work that I need to do on my end, but I'm a lieutenant right now, and I love being part of the Legion. I'd really love to move up to captain, and increase my awareness, putting out the word about the Legion and the products that we have, and trying to get more people in. And but in terms of bodybuilding or fitness goals this year, I just like to maybe tone things down a little bit and see if there's some actual muscle underneath all this. And then I don't know, 5 years down the line, I'd actually like to compete in a bodybuilding show presented the opportunity. I mean, I'm in my mid-30s right now, so it's like it's either, crap or get off the pot. But I figure the time is coming to the end if I'm going to do it. But
Well, you could be like Rocco there. You could get ultra shredded and peeled, but you definitely could do it. Yeah, you definitely could do it. And like I said, I see a lot of physiques, and you definitely have muscle, like a lot of muscle, and it's not under a level of fat. I just think it's you're thick. Again, I keep using that adjective, but it's not fat. It's definitely not, because if it was fat, you would just have you would have no shape to your arms. You have shape to your buys, you have shape to your tries. You actually have forearms, which is really important, because a lot of guys are like big up here, but they're like a popsicle stick here. So you definitely have been lifting, and those core exercises that you do, I mean, like deadlifting alone, I mean, that builds everything, legs, back, everything. So, I mean, there's just no question. It's just I think with you, it's going to be like getting ripped, which is really just, I think, I don't know, like dropping the calories and increasing the activity really. But I think you could do it. And there's so many coaches that are going to watch this. Like I said, Christopher Luke and Rudog, and who knows, maybe even PJ. I mean, I don't know. But I want to thank you very much for doing this. And I especially loved when we got disconnected, but we didn't actually disconnect, which was really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much for asking me to do this. This was fun. I've never done one of these IG lives before. I honestly can't stand the way my voice sounds recorded on video. But that's why people that have been following me for years, either in the Legion or on regular Instagram, probably don't know what I sound like, because I never post videos of me talking. Right. So I think with this last year, with the way everything went down with COVID and some changes that I had to make at work, we had to do training virtually. So I kind of had to suck it up and go with it and just, put it out there. So.
Well, I think, I'm sorry. I do a lot of video and I do a lot of podcasts and such. I think the best part of this interview with regards to you and making, recording on your own and doing stuff like that is when you were talking about doing the beard stuff for charity. There's about you talked for about a minute there, and it was perfect. You articulated all your points. Mm-hmm. You weren't going too fast. Yeah. You laid everything out. It was perfect. So I think you should definitely do more of that, especially if it's a story or if it's like a longer format, like an IGTV. You could totally do it, and you've got so much to talk about that I really think you should do more of it. I really think you should. Sometimes you need like a little bit of an icebreaker, and maybe this is it. I don't know. Hopefully it is, because people really want to hear you. And the thing is, the written word is fantastic. I love it. I read articles. I'm a big believer in it. But sometimes this is more like, not more, but it has its own niche. Like people, they read what you write in their own voice, in their own head. But sometimes it just pushes it a little. It takes it a little bit further if you're actually saying it to them. It's a weird thing, but I think,
Yeah, it's the emotion and the inflection that you put behind it. So then, like you said, that it puts across that passion that you have for it. So yeah, I totally get where you're coming from.
That's exactly it. The emotion and the inflection. But I'm serious, because the written word is so up for interpretation. That's why texting people, it's okay, but you should never do it with strangers because it's so subjective. You could read a text 5 different ways, and none of them may be the way it was intended. So yeah, hopefully. And then I've got this thing called Catching Up, which it's going to be like a second time around with all the people I've interviewed. I'm going to come back in like a year and do it again. Yeah, so I think that'd be great. And hopefully when we do that with you, it'll be, there'll be some killer updates. It'll be like shredded, you know what I mean? Your face will be all sucked in. And I'll be like, what are you up to? Yeah, I'll be like, what are you up to? Like, oh, I just deadlifted 800 pounds and I got to go to sleep here soon because I got to be at the prejudging to win the show and kick everyone's ass.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That'd be fantastic. You know what I mean? That'd be fantastic. But I do want to thank you, Eric, and we're going to do this one more time. Zatchok.
Zatchok, you got it.
Zatchok. Okay, good. Yeah. So I want to thank you very much for doing this. I hope to see you do maybe let's see. When's April? Like 3 days, 2 days? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe in the month of April, maybe a video from you, a story or a post in your.
We'll see. We'll see.
You got to tag me though, please.
Okay.
And Blackstone Labs Legion and Blackstone Labs, please.
I will.
Okay, that'd be awesome. and then hopefully soon we'll see you on a stage competing.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Christian. I really appreciate it.
Definitely, with 2 bars, the rank of captain in the Legion as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You
Awesome.
got it.
So for Eric Zatchok, this is Christian Duke, StrengthAddicts.com. Thank you, brother.
Yep. Thank you. Good night.
Night.